Back when I was 13 or 14, I first discovered lifting weights, and I started working out for the first time in my life. I was very skinny as a kid and as a teenager, and that skinniness led to insecurity. And when I found lifting weights at the gym and working out in general, it helped me relieve that insecurity and build a little bit of confidence. The problem with this, though, was that I didn't know any science behind working out or training, and I made a lot of mistakes back then that, looking back now, I think could easily be fixed if only I had the right information. So this video is to my younger self, or the guys or beginners right now who want to build confidence, want to get in the gym and work out, but they don't really know what to do. And I have 3 things that I've learned in my life that I can give you as information to help you make progress much faster in the gym and not waste as much time like I did. The first thing that I would tell my younger self when he first started training and working out is the concept of progressive overload. What is progressive overload? Progressive overload is the gradual increase of stress on your body in a workout program to force adaptation, like muscle growth and like strength. And you force adaptation through different variables, like adding more weight, adding more reps, adding more sets, and you do this over time slowly, and it forces your body to grow. That's pretty much what progressive overload is, and I wish I would have known about that when I was younger. When I did first start training, I would go into the gym and hit the same exact workout every single day. I wouldn't hit any major compound movements, and if I did, I wasn't tracking them and I wasn't trying to increase them over time. I would just go to the gym every day, hit the same workout, get a pump, and leave. And I never really saw progress for a long time. Even though I was feeling good, I was getting a pump, I was even getting a little bit stronger, but I just wasn't seeing progress. And that's my fault because I wasn't actively programming my workouts to increase the stress and adaptation over time. So yeah, that's something I wish I would have known, and I bet a lot of you guys probably do the same thing. You probably go into the gym, hit the same workout every single day, and you aren't seeing any progress. And it's because you don't have progressive overload programmed into your workout. So how can you apply progressive overload to your workout program to see progress? So number 1 is track your workouts. I want you to have your workout program written down either on a piece of paper in a notebook or on your phone. I recommend the phone because the phone is the easiest. We all have phones. Putting your workout in your notes is going to be probably the easiest version for everybody. And you want your workout program written down because you need to know exactly what exercise you're going to do, how many reps for each exercise, how many sets, what weight you use, and you do not want to wing your workouts because it's going to be very, very challenging to adjust those variables over time and progress. The second thing is I want you to aim at improving those variables over time. You want to be adding more weight, adding more reps, adding more sets. Having better form is a way to progress. The amount of weekly volume is another way of progression. And you want to treat your workouts almost like you're in a video game, like you're improving your stats over time to make your character stronger. The third thing I put was aim at improving those variables, like adding more weight, adding more reps every 1 to 3 weeks. I know for some people, you cannot simply add 5 pounds every week infinitely because it's going to get to a point where there's too much weight and you cannot progress. So that's why I put 1 to 3 weeks. That's how long it'll usually take your body to adapt to a certain amount of weight or pounds or reps. So yeah, I recommend every 1 to 3 weeks, add 5 pounds, add another rep or do another set. And then you want to slowly do that over time, and that's progressive overload. Also, the goal is to maintain perfect form while adding more weight and while adding more reps and sets. If you cannot do it with good form, you are simply not strong enough, and you have to keep doing that same amount of weight and reps, sets, until you can add more with perfect form. And yeah, the last thing I would put for progressive overload and how to do it is how to do it in your workout is I want you to mainly focus on progressing compound movements. What is a compound movement? A compound movement is an exercise that uses multiple joints and multiple muscle groups, and it's typically very hard. It's exercises like bench press, squat, deadlift, overhead press, what else? pull-ups, rows, hip thrust. It's multi-joint, multi-muscle movements. And if you focus on progressive overload with those, you will see the most progress in your physique and in your workout program. You can't apply progressive overload to isolation movements like curls, triceps, shoulders, shoulder raises, calf raises, and you should apply progressive overload, but the main focus should be increasing those compound movements. And then after that, you can focus on trying to improve your isolation type movements. So that is how you can apply progressive overload in your workout program. It's actually not that hard and not that complicated. You just need to be dedicated and disciplined with tracking down everything and trying to force that 1 to 3 week progression over time. And then you're going to see a lot more progress and not be so plateaued and stagnant. Another way you can look at your training is like this. To grow muscle and get stronger, you have to force adaptation. Your body is a biological organism that responds to the stimulus in the environment. Your body doesn't know that you're lifting weights. It simply just feels stress and it needs to adapt, and your body grows more muscle or it builds more strength. It's literally your body is physically reacting to the world and it's trying to help you survive. That's a good way to look at it. It's kind of cool actually, but yeah, so that's how you can apply progressive overload in your workout program. It's very important, and I think it's going to help you a lot if you're a beginner or a young guy like me who wasn't seeing any progress. So the second thing that I would tell myself when I first started working out and lifting weights is the concept of tracking your calories. And the reason I think this is so important is because if you don't track your calories and you don't know how much you're eating, it's going to make it very, very hard to see progress and gain weight, because it's simply just a science. And the science is that your body needs a specific amount of calories per day, and if you eat above that, you're going to gain weight, and if you eat below that, you're going to lose weight. I did not know this when I was young and I first started lifting. In fact, I didn't even know what tracking calories meant. I would just hear people say at school, oh, I'm eating 4,000, 5,000 calories per day and I can't gain weight. I would hear that from kids at school that were working out, and looking back, they were obviously lying, because there's no way they were eating 4,000, 5,000 calories, perfectly tracking that shit. It's just not possible, and a lot of people kind of make that excuse of saying that, but it's very important when you first start lifting to know about tracking calories, why it's important, and how to track those calories so you can actually start seeing progress. Unlike me, where for so long I was just lifting, doing shitty workouts, and not eating right, not tracking my calories, and I wasn't gaining weight. It's because I wasn't tracking my calories. So that's why it's very important. So why do you need to track your calories? Essentially that you need to know what your number is per day, and then once you know that number, you can adjust that to lose weight or gain weight or do whatever goal you want, but you have to hit a certain number per day. Everyone does, and it's simply just how your body works. How do you figure out how many calories to eat per day? The first thing you need to do is you need to figure out what your maintenance calories are. Your maintenance calories are the amount of calories that you need to eat per day to stay the same exact weight that you are now. This is a very crucial step in figuring out your tracking your calories. This is how you're going to see progress and where we're going to go off from in the future. So to find your maintenance calories, you need to go onto a TDEE calculator, Total Daily Energy Expenditure Calculator. This is on a website. I will link in the description of this video a TDEE calculator that you can use for yourself to find your maintenance calories. All you do is you type in your height, weight, and activity level, and it'll give you a number of calories to pick from based on your activity level. That will be your maintenance to stay the same exact weight that you are right now. So the next thing you need to do after you find your maintenance is establish what your goal is. Is your goal to stay the same weight, to lose weight, or to gain weight? For example, let's start with losing weight, or what's known as cutting. If you want to do a cut or lose weight, you need to first know what your maintenance calories are. For example, let's say the website said your maintenance calories are 2,000. To lose weight, you need to eat below 2,000 calories. This is called a calorie deficit. The amount of calories you need to eat below that it's variable, and I would recommend minus 200 or minus 500 calories. Anything greater than that is going to be not enough calories that you're consuming per day, and you're not going to lose weight in a very healthy way, and you're just going to feel like shit all the time. So that means you're going to eat below 2,000 calories, so around 1,800 to 1,500 calories per day, and now you're in a calorie deficit. That's how you lose weight. The opposite side of the coin, if you want to gain weight or a calorie surplus, is, let's say your maintenance calories is 2,000, you need to eat above 2,000 in a calorie surplus to gain weight. So I would also recommend the same number of 200 to 500 extra calories per day. So that means you're going to eat around 2,200 to 2,500 calories per day. You're in a calorie surplus, and you are going to start gaining weight from that. And if you don't, you can just adjust the calories a little bit more, add 100 more calories to see if you start getting weight on the scale. But that's pretty much the science behind finding what amount of calories per day to eat, and depending on what your goal is, you just adjust it from there. So yeah, that's how you find what amount of calories per day to eat. So after you figure out how much calories per day you're going to be consuming, you need to now go through the process of actually calculating that throughout the day. The first step for that, I would say, is you need to first have a notebook, or in your phone, you need to log your meals, log the calories you're consuming every single day, and have a total at the end of the night. I've been doing this for a while, and ever since I started doing that, it really helped me see progress way faster, and I wish I would have done this when I was younger, because it's just a game changer when you actually know what calories to eat, and you're actually consuming it and writing it down and making sure you are hitting it every single day. So yeah, first thing you need to do is have a log in your phone or in a notebook. The second thing is you're going to need to actually track and measure the food by using a food scale and a calculator. Foods like protein bars, chips, protein shakes, anything that comes in a package, you're not going to need to use a scale for, because you're just going to eat the whole entire package or whatever, and it's going to say in the very back of the label the amount of calories. So that's very easy to track. You don't need a scale for that. But for items like meat, beef, chicken, items like rice, potatoes, vegetables, fruits, things that don't have a label that it comes in, you're going to need to weigh it on a food scale and use a calculator to track it. So yeah, a food scale you can find at Walmart for a very cheap price, or you can find on Amazon. It's not that huge of an investment, and it really helps you see progress much faster. Yeah, so another tip I would say is when you're weighing foods like meat and vegetables, if you cook it and then weigh it, it's going to skew the results, and it's going to mess up the calculations. So you need to make sure you weigh everything raw when you're weighing your food, like beef or rice or vegetables. Another thing is, after you do weigh the amount of portion you're going to eat for, let's say, beef, you can take that number on the scale and either put it in your phone in the calculator and do the equation of the serving size, or the easier version is honestly to go on a calorie tracking website. I will leave one in the description of this video, and enter in the amount of grams or whatever metric you're using into the calculator, and it will give you the exact number of calories. So that's pretty much how you track your calories. You need a food scale, you need to put that number into a calculator or calculate it yourself, and you find your calories that way. Yep, so the last thing you need to do is just add up everything throughout the day that you're consuming, and once you do that, you're golden. So yeah, that's how you can track your calories throughout the day. So the last thing I'll leave off with this section of tracking calories is simply just the importance of doing it. Once you figure out your maintenance and whatever goal you want, and you start trying to track and eat towards that number every single day, you're going to see progress so much faster than not tracking your calories at all, not caring about nutrition at all. You can't build muscle without being good with your nutrition, or you can't lose fat without being good with your nutrition. There's only so much training you can do before it's your diet that matters. And a lot of young guys like myself didn't do this, and they didn't see progress for a very long time until they started tracking their calories and eating the right number per day. So yeah, that's the last thing I would leave off with in this video. It's going to be annoying to do. It's going to be annoying to track at first, but once you build the habit, it's just really going to help you. And just do it. Just track your calories. It's going to make you make progress way faster. The third and final thing that I would tell myself when I first started lifting weights is about the importance of having good form and good technique while lifting. The reason having good form and technique is so important is because it really helps prevent injuries. I had trained with really bad form for over a year. Back when I was a junior in high school, I got into powerlifting and lifting heavy and trying to get stronger, and I was addicted to it. But the problem was I didn't care about my form. I didn't even think about form. I just tried to lift as heavy as possible, kind of just for ego reasons. And it's really stupid. I was a dumbass. But a lot of guys do the same thing. A lot of guys, I used to play football in the weight room. A lot of guys do the same shit. You ego lift. You don't care about form. You just try to lift as heavy as possible because you get a social validation from it. And the problem with this is that it increases your injury risk a lot. I herniated a disc because I was deadlifting, squatting with horrible form, and over a year that built up until I finally snapped and I fucking hurt my back really bad. And you know, I haven't lifted heavy since then, and I would love to get back into lifting heavy, but the problem is it just really stunted my progress, and it took a lot of time away from gaining strength and gaining size. And I feel like I wish I could tell myself that I would go back in time and say, hey, don't increase the weight, don't try to get stronger if you cannot do it with proper form. So that's why it's so important. You just want to stay injury free so you can continue to make progress over time rather than go through cycles of rehab and physical therapy and lose all your gains and shit. It's just not fun. What do I mean by having good form and good technique while lifting? The first thing I would say is that there isn't a one size fit all for good form. There isn't a one size recommendation I can give everybody. All I can say is that good form is subjective. Everyone has different body types, different bone lengths. The length of your bones can literally affect how you perform a squat or a deadlift, or the length of your arms can change how you perform a bench press or a curl. So it's all subjective depending on yourself. So the tip I would give you is that maintaining good form is essentially all about having good mobility and stability in your joints while lifting, and that's going to make you feel very safe and very effective and efficient at performing a lift. If you can lift a weight and you feel great, you feel efficient, you feel effective, you feel like there's no problems in your body, that's a really good sign, and that's what I would say is a good indicator that you're lifting something with good form. You feel very stable, you feel very mobile. The second thing I would say is to make sure you have full range of motion while lifting weights. If you can have full range of motion, this is the most optimal way for you to perform an exercise. And for 99% of people, full range of motion is a good form recommendation. The third thing I put was low back health. So you want to maintain a neutral spine and brace your core while lifting heavy, especially doing movements like squat or deadlift. I did not do this. If I would have maintained a neutral spine and braced my core during heavy lifts, I would have prevented a low back injury. Low back injuries are very common because not a lot of people have the mindset or the knowledge to brace their core or to maintain a neutral spine in their lower back. Your upper back has a lot more stability and ability to handle weight, but your lower back doesn't. It's just all joints and bones, and when you load that with weight, there's nothing protecting it. So that's why you need to brace your core and make sure you know you're performing the exercise with proper positioning, so to really prevent injury. I'm very biased towards low back injuries, and I think it's very important to protect against it. I struggled with it for a while, and I really would never want anyone to go through that, especially if you're a young guy. I would go back in time and tell myself, Will, make sure you're bracing your core, lifting properly, because you don't want to go through what you're about to go through in the future with your lower back injury. So yeah, that's why I think lower back health is very important. The fourth thing I would say is figure out good form by practicing exercises with light weights or your body weight. You can, a lot of times you do a workout program and you go in and you do your sets, you do your reps, and you don't really think about how you're lifting. You just go do your heavy weight and you leave. You can go to the gym and pick a light weight and practice a movement like you're practicing a sport. You know, in sports, we don't always go 100% all the time. You can treat the gym like that. You can go into the gym and literally practice squatting with just the barbell or literally body weight. You can do hundreds of reps with that just to learn how it feels to properly do a squat, and then you can go in and add heavy weight to that, your sessions down the line. This is a really easy way to learn how to do exercises properly. You don't have to only do that on squat. You could do that with literally every exercise. Have a full day, a full week, or a full month. I would recommend an entire month of just practicing form with light weight to learn how to actually do these exercises. And then you can get into your workout program, load up the weight, try to get stronger, try to apply progressive overload, and you're not going to get injured because you know how to train right. So that's the fourth thing that I would say. The last thing I have on here is the concept of mobility and stability. I just touched on this like 30 seconds ago. And what I mean by mobility and stability is that mobility is the ability of a joint to go through a full range of motion without any impingement or blockages. It's essentially your joint's going, it's very smooth. It's operating properly. It's able to move in its full range without pain or tightness or any sort of weird feeling like that. Stability is the ability for a joint to stay stable and not move while lifting. That's something like your lower back. That's something like your knees. Stability is very helpful for joints that have a high injury risk. That's why you need to have mobility and stability. Some things you can do to work on mobility and stability is like simple warm-up and rehab movements before you start your workout. You could do some hip mobility, like some hip and 90-90 rotations. You could do some hip stretches. You can do ankle mobility. You can do upper back mobility. For stability, you can do, core exercises like bird dog, side plank, dead bug, Palloff press. If you want to have good form, you have to work on your weak areas. And you have to first assess your body, see what joints in your body are tight, what joints are unstable. And then after you figure out that, add some quick movements in. Look up on YouTube, lower back stability exercises, or look up hip mobility exercises. Ankle mobility, I do ankle mobility. It sounds weird, but your ankles are the base of your body. And if they're very tight and immobile, it can mess up your form. So yeah, it's just very important to have in your routine, in your warm-up, or just in your day-to-day life to work on these joints, and that's really going to help your form, and it's going to help you stay injury-free and perform exercises properly. So that's the video, guys. That was 3 things that I would have told my younger self when I first started lifting weights. These 3 things I really wish I would have known, and I would have known them and applied them, I feel like I would have seen a lot more progress way faster. So yeah, if you're a young guy, if you're in high school or you're in college and you feel skinny, you feel like you don't know what you're doing in the gym, apply these concepts. I'm telling you, you're going to see progress way faster. I mean, this is literally what I would tell my younger self. So I'm not bullshitting you. This is knowledge that you stumble upon over time looking up concepts about fitness. And I'm just trying to save you guys time by putting these 3 things together that I wish I would have known. And yeah, I hope it helps you out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. One last thing I'll leave off is I am selling workout programs. I'm selling 4-week, 8-week, and 12-week workout programs on the website Fiverr. So if you want to purchase one, want me to make you a workout program to try out and apply these concepts to, click the link in my description. It's going to take you to Fiverr and you can purchase one of my workout programs. My 4-week workout program is pretty cheap. It's about $25, so I would really recommend you guys trying that out first and apply these concepts to it and see to your workout and just to your life and see if you see any progress. I really hope you do. All right, see you guys later.